Hi, it's Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we will be showing you how to optimize your PC, make it faster, more secure, remove bloatware, and basically keep it nice and clean and tidy, because Microsoft still are refusing to do it for us, so we have to take matters into our own hands. And of course there are lots of tools on the market, but not all of them are completely free, and not all of them do exactly what they say on the tin. So today we're going to take a look at a very cool program called Optimise and see what it can do for your PC and see what it does for my PC. We all like a little bit of optimization here and there, so without further ado, let's head over to the computer and take a closer look. So this is the GitHub repo. There's also other web pages for it as well, but this is Optimise, and as you can see, Optimise is a free open source Windows optimization tool focused on performance, privacy and simplicity. That's what we like to see. And there is a kind of overview of what it looks like and tells you how to get it going. So to start up the program, download it from the GitHub releases, run the exe directly, no installation required, choose the optimizations you want, apply them and restart your PC when you are ready. Tip, always create a system restore before making changes. It goes down, tells you basically what it does, different categories, etc., feature toggles, built-in tools. You get the general idea. So yeah, pretty much all it is there. If you want to have a read through that, you're more than welcome to do so. I've actually installed it on my computer already. And here we have the program, user account control. So we'll agree to that. And again, you should really do a system restore point, or preferably a full system backup before you do anything with this. However, built into Optimise, there is a restore routine. So you can actually go into the program and get it to undo changes that you've made, should you find any problems or it doesn't suit your preferences. So let's have a quick tour through. So we've got our dashboard. So got options to join their Discord community, the GitHub repository, and also options to contribute to the ongoing changes and donations to help make this project even better. In this lower section, it tells you about your PC, what Windows version it's running, your processor, your graphics card, the RAM, etc., and also some of your storage. It might be worth keeping an eye on storage to see how much reduction you can actually make using this tool. Next part, rather than go straight down to these sections, we're going to take a look at settings first of all. So in your settings, you've got options for your language, the theme, also the option for turning on or off smooth scrolling. Generally, I would leave that off unless you really want it to. Also, the shell service timeouts, I would leave those as they are. However, if you want to, you can do a quick Google search and see what those are all about. And yeah, basically it shuts down services quicker, I believe. Show completion notification, you can have that on or off. I'm going to leave it on. And also you've got options here for removing provisioned packages. So when you actually do debloating, yes, it may well remove the Appx package, but potentially if you create a new user on the same computer, then it may actually reinstall those packages that you've previously removed on a different user account. So in this, you've actually got the option to fully remove those packages. Again, you can turn that on or off. You can clear all your downloads. You can also clear all the Revert data. So this is the data accumulated whilst making optimizations. You can choose to clear that data. Also, you can open the root directory where the program is actually running. So you've got the Optimise there running at app data local, and yeah, you've got your Revert folder there. So yeah, that's an introduction to the features there. Also, you've got the options for the GitHub repository. You can visit there. These are all shortcuts. You can see on the side shortcuts, documentation, help and acknowledgements, etc. So that's pretty much it for the settings. You can pretty much leave that as it is, other than just a few small tweaks. So let's start off with Optimise. So in the optimization section, you've got options for performance, security and privacy, GPU, power management, bloatware and services, and the Windows experience or user experience. So essentially what you can go down through is look at each one of these individually, and then you can decide whether or not these are right for you. Also, there's a handy toggle, so you know if it's actually been enabled or not. It gives you a warning if you want to change anything as well, that you should create a system restore point, or the application will do it for you. So there you go. It just tells you what it's doing, so you can click OK, and it agrees that. So it's just creating a restore point, and there we go. So it's actually created that. So There you go, prioritize active applications. This allocates more CPU resources to the application you're currently using for a faster, more responsive experience. And you can see here, it says safe. So if there's safe changes, they're safe. If there's anything which has caution, it's got caution. And essentially there's a color coded thing. So some of them will be red to say like, are you sure you want to do this? And you can choose to do it by risk and status, by name, etc. And you can decide which ones you actually see and hide ones that have already been applied. So yeah, you can toggle that on or off if you wish to make it a little bit easier. So you've got things like this, so optimize service isolation. So essentially if you're not sure what it is, it tells you underneath exactly what it does. Disable background apps. So again, this prevents inactive applications from running in the background to free up more RAM and reduce CPU overhead. Again, you don't have to do all of these, you don't have to do any of them if you don't want to. You can just go ahead and choose which ones which makes sense to you. So that is in the performance tab. To be honest with you, I'm pretty confident that my PC is relatively well optimized. So I'm actually going to leave those. I'm more focused on security and privacy. So let's have a look, see what we've got here. So you've got things like disable error reporting. Yep, you don't really want to have that. Disable ads and suggestions. Yep, we'll get rid of those. And also we will disable activity history, location services, disable cloud content delivery, disable data collection, telemetry. So yeah, we'll get rid of that as well. Background logging, let's get rid of that as well. Disable Cortana and web search. Yep, let's get rid of that as well. And disable Windows Copilot, which potentially you may have already done anyway, but let's do it anyway. So there you go. And these all happen straight away. So every time you click one, you'll get the notification at the bottom. Hence why in the settings earlier, you have the option to disable that pop-up. Also in GPU, so you've got optimizations you can make here to your particular driver. Again, it tells you what it is and what it does. Basically, like it will have a long string, then the end bit is the one you probably want. So reduces power saving on idle. So these are like for optimizing to make things quicker. All of these are safe, as you can see here, apart from AMD power gating. You can go through these and choose what you want to do. Again, I'm not really focused on my GPU. I'm pretty much happy with that. But if you want to have a play with these, you're more than welcome to do so, to try and get the best out of your system. Power management. Again, things like disable USB power saving, so that can be quite useful. So this prevents Windows from powering down USB ports, eliminating wake-up delays for mice, keyboards, and other peripherals. Also, again, this will keep your USB ports active while the PC is powered down. So again, if you charge your phone or your, I don't know, AirPods or something, whatever you do, it'll basically keep the power on. So potentially you can do that. There's an optimized power plan. You've got disable system power throttling. So this will give you full performance. And also you've got disable hibernation and fast startup. I'm going to turn that on because I don't like hibernating the PC and I don't like fast startup either. So we'll turn those off. Again, if you want to change any of these, you're more than welcome to do so. Bloatware and services, probably going to be a good one to do. So block pre-installed bloatware. So this prevents Windows from automatically reinstalling unwanted third-party apps and promoted software. So this is going to be things like if there's a Windows update and it decides it wants to put on things like, I don't know, Twitter or one of those programs that appear in your start menu which you never wanted and needed. So we'll turn that on. Also got this here, so optimize system services, so just non-essential background services to free up resources while maintaining all necessary Windows functionality. So yeah, potentially that is worth doing. So this is going to give you performance and reduces latency. So if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to do so. I'm quite happy as mine at the moment, so we'll leave it as it is. User experience, so you can speed up Explorer and menus. So yeah, that's quite a nice thing. So essentially, when you click on the start menu or anything like that, there is a kind of a delay. So if we turn that on, I'm not sure whether we'll notice it immediately. The pop-up might be a little bit faster. Also, you've got the option to disable visual effects, which again can make Windows seem a little bit more snappy, and it gets rid of things like transparency and arrow peak, etc. So let's turn that on as well. So again, that's pretty much what you can do there. If you go into customize, so then you've got other sections. So you've got the system section. So numlock on boot, yeah, I do like to have that on. So yeah, that's fine. On desktop, you've got more options. So you've got the control panel. So if you want to have control panel displayed on your desktop, Desktop icons, so you can remove all of them at the same time or show none. But again, it's pretty just self-explanatory. This is more about the user interface as such. So network icon, recycle bin, this PC, user files, etc. And also you can decide whether the shortcut arrow exists, so the shortcut on the side there, so you can get rid of that. And probably needs a reboot actually before you do that. But anyway, we will leave that as is. So that is fine for desktop. In preferences, you've got things like the classic context menu. That's on already. It will detect any settings you've already got from previous optimizations you've made yourself. Again, this is mostly UI stuff, so compact mode, check items, etc. Launch to this PC. Again, I've already got that set up. Show file extensions. Again, quite handy for doing BOS updates, that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can basically go through this and decide what is best for you, what you'd like to see, what you wouldn't. Bing search, you can remove that, it's already off. Seconds in the system clock, so currently that is off, as you can see there. If we turn that on, then you've got seconds there. Let's turn that off, and it goes back to the normal time. To be honest with you, having seconds on apparently does waste some CPU cycles, so I'm going to leave that off. You've got taskbar alignment, so you can change it whether it's center or left. I like it centralized, but if you want it on the left, then you can have it more like the traditional Windows 10. I quite like it in the middle. Taskbar end task, that's already on my system, but you can do that, so you can right click down here and go to task manager, etc., or right click on a program, choose end task. Taskbar view button, that is currently off, so that is that one there, or task view, I don't like that, so I turn it off. And taskbar widgets, again, you can turn those on or off. That's your widget settings. And if you go into the gaming section, so you've got full screen optimizations, hardware accelerated GPU scheduling. That should be on. I don't know why that's off at the moment, so I'll turn that back on. Background recording, DVR. So that is in the correct position, so it's currently off. It's not recommended to be on. Game mode, you can turn that on if you want to. Xbox game bar, you can enable or disable it, etc. Things like mouse acceleration. Windows mouse acceleration setting for cursor movement, so that's recommended to be off, so I'll turn that off. I'll take their advice. In Bloatware, so now it's going to go through and basically go through system programs and stuff which you can get rid of. So if there's anything in here that you don't want, mine's relatively clean, but I'm going to remove that. So we'll get rid of Microsoft Bing search and we'll just let it do its thing. And there you go, it's gone. So yeah, pretty easy. For a lot of people, I think going straight into the Bloatware section is probably going to be where you want to start off with and get rid of anything you don't necessarily want. So yeah, Microsoft Action Servers. Essentially, yeah, just get rid of whatever you don't want. If you're not too sure, you can read through it and see what it is, but some of them should be obvious what they are. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to leave that as it is. Obviously, you can do more in-depth should you wish to. And you can, if you want to, just do select all the safe ones and it'll get rid of all of them for you. But yeah, that is the bloat section. Next, you've got the Startup Manager. So this is quite handy for some people. If you've had programs which have started up previously and you don't want them to do anymore, you've got things like that. So Edge Cleanup, do you necessarily want that? Possibly there's going to be other things in there. Scheduled tasks as well, which you can disable or enable. It's pretty useful stuff. So again, if you don't want Microsoft Edge or Google Updater running, you can just bang bang and turn those off. Pretty useful stuff. You've got your scheduled tasks as well. So if you want to get rid of any scheduled tasks, so the Microsoft Updaters, etc., you can turn these off, and you can hide Microsoft tasks as well, because some of them you probably do want. But yeah, loads of Google ones in there, Updaters mostly. Again, go through and decide which ones you want to actually get rid of. And then finally, we've got our disk cleanup section. So here, very much like the likes of kind of Fluent Cleaner, CC Cleaner, etc., just going to basically tell you what amount of space you can clean up on your system. You can run a scan, see what it finds, and also you can choose what it gets rid of. So you've got things like error reports, update cache, etc. I think by default it does pretty much everything. If there is a folder or a section which is empty already, then it won't tick it, because it doesn't need, it's pointless trying to empty something which is already empty. So let's do that. We'll clean the selected, and yeah, nice and quick, nice and snappy. So yeah, that is a pretty nice overall system. I quite like this. It's a nice layout. It's relatively intuitive. I guess there's some things which possibly could have been laid out a little bit nicer possibly. There is a lot going on here, and I think they've done a pretty decent job, but ultimately it's going to be down to you to go through it and decide which settings you want. Again, most people, I think, probably bloatware and services would be your thing, but maybe with RAM not being very available now, if you want to reduce your system's RAM dependency, then maybe going into performance and trying to remove some tasks might be worth doing. So there you go, there is a look at Optimizer Duck. I like it. I think this is a cool new addition to our arsenal of tools to fight back against basically rubbish software and Microsoft's inability to remove stuff from our PCs that we don't really want. Wouldn't it be great if we could just opt into things on startup like we did with Windows 95? Anyway, that is a long time ago. This is a modern operating system and it needs a modern interface to try and help clean it up. And I think this does a very good job. Try it for yourselves. Let me know how you get on. I'll be interested to hear your comments. That's going to wrap this one up. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. And hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.